Hello. If you're able to, please close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Relax your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Take another deep breath in and another breath out. You can open your eyes now. My name is David, and welcome to Mindful Moments. This week, I've just had my hair done. My head feels very tight, but if you're watching this, you'll be able to see I've got cornrows with the beads. Hopefully that was some nice ASMR and you could hear the clicking. I'm not going to be able to know until I listen back. But I've been waiting for this moment for a very long time. Around this time last year, July last year, I was going through a real period of low confidence. I have no idea where it came from, no idea why it came. I really haven't felt insecure about my appearance since secondary school, I would say. That's school from the ages of 11 to 18, for those who don't follow the British school system. And in those years, I was really insecure about how I looked. And then as I got older, I learned to place importance in other things and found out that people don't just find you good looking for what's on the outside. However, last year, I suddenly went through a real period of insecurity about how I looked, not because of anything external. I have a very healthy relationship. I have very good friends. No one was making me feel bad, but I just didn't feel too good about myself. And at the time, I had very short hair and it was bleached blonde, which I loved. It was a time. It was a look at the time. Anyway, my girlfriend suggested that I grow my hair out because it would make me feel better and make me feel better about myself. And so I did. I chose to grow my hair out. And all the advice I was reading and all the videos I was watching that were telling me the best things, best practices for growing out your hair and the best things to do, pretty much all of them encouraged you not to get any kind of haircut while you were growing out your hair. So for about, I'd probably say 6 to 8 months, because my hair grows slowly, I wasn't getting any haircuts, not so much as a shape up or a taper fade. And I was going out and going about my business just with no haircut whatsoever, which at one point in my life would have sounded like a prison sentence. And it was tough at points, I'll be honest. I'd have a big event coming up in that time window I spoke at my first panel. I went to my first major film premiere. It was the Black Panther Wakanda Forever premiere. And all those things, I did not have a haircut once. I was just letting my hair grow out. And obviously, before your hair is long enough to style, it doesn't look like you're intentionally growing your hair out. It just looks like you haven't been bothered to get a haircut. So I was struggling during this time not to get a haircut because I was trying to be patient and do things the right way. But actually, even as I say that, I actually wasn't struggling anywhere near as much as I thought. In fact, every time I do a big event like that and I didn't have a haircut, it would make me feel better about myself because here was me in my natural form, no frills, nothing fancy, and I was still able to do everything I needed to do, and everyone was treating me exactly the same. And so my girlfriend was very right. All I needed was to spend some time in my own skin and it would make me feel better. Anyway, we fast forward to now, July 2023, a year on. And yes, my hair is much longer, long enough to do some styles with. And for the first time, long enough for cornrows with the beads. And I'm very happy. It's a look for the summer. That's probably the most major event that's going on right now. I can't remember who I was talking to this week, but I was saying that I'm having an interesting time at the moment. Nothing's going wrong. Nothing is bad. I just don't generally feel particularly good. And that's really been how I felt for most of this year. I started off the year feeling ambitious, optimistic for the year, as you do. Around March, April, I had a real dip mentally and decided to take good care of myself. Whenever something goes wrong in life or I'm not feeling good, the first 3 things I go to are how am I eating, how am I sleeping, am I exercising enough? And I tried to fix those 3 things first and foremost because pretty much everything else revolves around them. So since April, I've been eating really well, sleeping really well, exercising a lot, and feeling okay. And even now, I'm still taking very good care of myself, and I'm still feeling okay. And also, what's hard about taking such good care of myself is that I'm so aware of my thoughts and my feelings. I haven't been drinking. I've been sleeping enough hours. And so my mind is very sharp. I feel very lucid. I think that's the word I'm looking for. I feel very lucid all the time. And that can be quite tiring. I'm never really escaping from my thoughts in the way that you do when you have a drink or you lay your hair down. I'm really thinking and processing everything and wading through the mud, which can be very tiring. That's probably why I'm getting such good sleep. Every night I put my head to the pillow and I'm exhausted. I'm so tired because I've just been thinking all day. Ignorance truly is bliss. In all seriousness. Yeah, it's been a little bit tough to do all of that. And I've questioned as well at points, am I doing the right thing by trying to process everything like this? Is this difficult? Is this unnecessarily difficult, basically? Is this unnecessarily difficult? Is this the right thing to do? And you can even hear in my hesitance in the way that I'm speaking now that I haven't figured this out yet. This is one I'm working on. This is real time. But in this conversation I was having the other day that I mentioned earlier, sorry, wanted a real segue there. I was having a conversation the other day with someone and I was telling them how I was feeling in general. And I was telling them about this, about wading through the mud and figure out how I feel and being very lucid and being tired because I'm thinking so much. And they were saying that it's a good thing that I'm doing all of this. And it's actually a good thing that I'm not exactly happy right now because we aim too much for happiness and sometimes we should look for contentment. And that's a very interesting discernment. I love it. I really do love it because we can't always be happy. We can't indulge every feeling. If we search for happiness all the time, we're not going to find it because happiness is difficult to come across. And quite often, the things we think will make us happy don't. There's nothing worse, actually, than truly believing something is going to make you happy, getting your hands on it, and then feeling empty. That is a really, really cruel blow. Whereas aiming for contentment is more about perspective. I'm not having the easiest time of it at the moment. I'm thinking a lot. I'm working through a lot. But at the end of every day, I'm content. Even if I haven't particularly enjoyed that day, even if I don't feel my best, I know that I believe in the things that I've done for myself that day, whether they felt good or not. And that gives me an overall sense of contentment. It's like, okay, at least everything I did today was my choice. At least everything I felt today came because I was in control of my actions. And honestly, when bad things happen these days, I don't feel like my life is bad. I feel like it's a bad thing in my good life, which is really, really lovely. There was definitely a time in my life where every bad thing that happened kept feeling like just another thing on top of already existing misery. Every bad thing that happened, I was unable to separate it from the rest of my life and felt like, of course, it's happening to me. These things always happen to me. And I'm really relieved to feel that shift in mindset. I'm really relieved to feel like all the work that I've been doing is at least having some kind of impact. I feel like now I do generally aim for contentment. Happiness doesn't always come, especially not in the forms that we look for it in. Sometimes we think things will make us happy and they don't. Sometimes we aim for happiness and fall slightly short. And because we've fallen short, we can't see the distance we've come because all we were focused on was that final goal. When searching for contentment, I feel that gives you a bigger sense of perspective. And yeah, so I guess right now, I'm not trying to be too happy. I'm trying to be content. I'm just trying to make sure that everything that I do fits into the bigger picture and that I'm taking care of myself. And yes, eventually, if I keep being too tired because I'm too lucid, and if I feel like trying to work through every single thing right now isn't possible for me, I'll stop. I'll just stop. But yeah, at the moment, I'm aiming for contentment. It's been a tiring week. This next week will probably be tiring too. But it's all in pursuit of something bigger. And everything's going to be okay. Thanks for letting me ramble this morning. Last week was a tighter, better idea. This week, I just needed to talk. So I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Whatever you're doing this week, I hope you have a wonderful one.